Hey, Nolan, I hate to bother you, but I need to ask you for a favor.
Oh boy, another one of your favors. Alright, let's hear it. What do you want me to do this time?
I just got a last-minute reservation from a client for an appointment at 4:30 today. I'm gonna have to do a bit of work on her hair too, so looks like I'll be getting out a bit later than usual. And that leaves the problem of picking Amy up from school. Do you think you could go to the school to pick her up when school gets out?
Of all the things you could have asked me to do. Sorry, babe, I really don't feel like doing that.
Come on, Nolan, don't be like this. It's just for one day. Can't you pick her up just this once?
Alright, I'll do it. Get off my back. What time do I need to pick her up?
She's got practice for the school choir concert after school today, and they sent out a notice the other day saying that the kids would be at school until 6.
Are you serious? 6 o'clock? You think I could just slip out of work anytime I feel like it? Sorry, Helen, I have way too much to do to waste my time picking her up from school.
Really?
Can't you finish up early or something? You said your client's coming in at 4:30, right? That gives you a whole hour and a half to finish. You should be able to pick Amy up with no problem. You're just doing makeup. Just put it on as quick as possible, then be on your way. It's not like they'll need you after that's done.
We've talked about this before, Nolan. The makeup staff can't leave until the photo shoot is totally finished. I have to be there in case something happens to mess up her makeup. It's just a quick shoot for a new model's portfolio, so I don't think it'll take too much time. But when you factor in cleanup and everything, I'm pretty sure it's going to go well beyond 6.
Okay, well, Amy's got her own key, doesn't she? Why can't she just walk home? It's not that far. I mean, we leave her alone at home all the time, so what's the problem?
Didn't you hear the news? There's been an increase in crime in the area she has to walk through on her way home lately. The school has been asking parents to pick up their children directly from school when possible. So I really don't want to force her to walk home alone.
Oh, good grief, you're watching too much TV, Helen. She'll be fine. It doesn't get dark until like 7:30 these days, so she'll be able to see everything just fine. It's not like she'll be walking through a bunch of dark alleys or anything. She could take the main roads where there's a lot of people around.
Well, sure, that's true, but aren't you the least bit worried about her?
I'm not worried in the slightest, and you shouldn't be either. She's not a little kid anymore, Helen. She's in the 1st grade. She's practically an adult. She can take care of herself. If you keep sheltering her like this, she's never going to have any chance to learn how to be independent.
I'm not sheltering her. I'm just concerned is all.
Look, you should know better than to even ask me to go and pick her up from school. You know how busy I am at work. You want me to get fired? Would that make you happy, huh?
All right, Nolan. I guess I'll have to figure something out myself. Sorry to bother you at work.
What? What do you want? Good grief, what's your problem? I thought I made it clear that you're not to call me at work ever. I'm way too busy to deal with whatever stupid garbage you want to bother me with right now. So whatever the problem is, figure it out yourself.
At work? Are you working from home? You never told me anything about that. Now hurry up and unlock the front door right now. I know you're in there. I can hear you talking. Open the door, Nolan!
Wait. You're at the house right now?
Yes! Why do you think I've been trying to call you all this time?
Oh, didn't you have work today?
Yes, but I came home early, hence why I want you to open the door.
But why?
Because I got a call from Amy's school, which is something I wanted to tell you on the phone, but you wouldn't answer me. Amy slipped and fell on her face during gym class.
Oh, is she okay? Did she get hurt or something?
Yes, she did. She broke one of her front teeth. So I went to pick her up and took her over to the emergency room to get her looked at. They had to pull out the rest of the tooth, but they said it wouldn't be a problem since it was a baby tooth anyway. There was no damage to her jaw or skull or anything.
Well, why didn't you tell me about that sooner?
What do you think I'm doing right now, Nolan? And for the record, I know how ticked off you always get when I call you at work, so I decided I'd wait until after work to tell you. I didn't feel like getting yelled at. I've got enough problems this afternoon already.
Well, then you should have contacted me after you got out of the hospital. I'm not that heartless. Of course I'd want to know if my daughter got hurt like that.
Don't give me that garbage, Nolan. Remember last summer during the heat wave when Amy passed out playing in the backyard? She was in the hospital for overnight observation, and you didn't care one bit back then. I called you in the afternoon because I thought you'd want to know, and just like you did now, you got mad at me for calling you at work.
Hey, that is not true. I was really worried about her back then.
That is all beside the point. What are you doing at home? And why did you lock the door chain?
I was feeling a bit under the weather, so I went home early, that's all. I was so out of it when I got back, I must have put on the door chain without even thinking about it.
When we couldn't open the door, Amy went around to the backyard to see if the back door was open. It was locked too, but when she came around to the front, she heard some strange voices coming from inside the house. When I went back there to see for myself, I found that, yeah, she wasn't just hearing things. There definitely were some strange voices coming from inside.
What kind of strange voices?
I think you know. Voices that you'd ordinarily have to pay $5 a minute to a 1-900 number to hear.
Uh-oh.
And I heard what you were saying very, very clearly. You seemed like you were enjoying yourself.
Did you hear just my voice? Not that there was anyone else in there with me.
No, all I could hear was you.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, I could hear everything you were saying loud and clear. Oh yeah, baby, you like that, don't you? What's that? You want me to tease you a little more?
Hey, come on, knock it off.
Come here, my little kitty cat. Purr for me, baby. I'm gonna take you to heaven, girl. It was secondhand embarrassing to hear you talk like that, seriously.
Okay, I get it. You don't need to say anymore.
My little kitty cat? What kind of woman would actually enjoy being with someone who uses such cheesy lines like that on her? And not to mention, I can't believe you actually brought her into our house, into our bed. What is wrong with you? Get a room, literally.
Did Amy hear everything too?
All of it. Every last word. Fortunately, she seemed pretty confused, so I think she's still too young to understand what was really going on. She asked me, Mommy, did Daddy buy us a cat for a pet? I don't want a cat, I want a doggy. What am I supposed to tell her, Nolan? Would you like to explain it to her, or should I?
We don't need to explain anything to her.
In any case, I think it's safe to say I don't need you to tell me what you were doing in our bedroom just now. Now hurry up and open the door. We have a lot to talk about.
But I don't get it. I made sure to lock the doors. How did you guys hear me from outside?
You left the back bathroom window open a crack. We could hear everything from there.
Oh, crap. I forgot to close that.
Even still, you must have been having a lot of fun to be that loud. Tell your friend that she should try and keep her voice down a little bit more. You're gonna bother the neighbors.
My friend?
What would you prefer I call her, Nolan? Would you prefer mistress? Oh, how about home-wrecking slut? Skank? I'm actually rather partial to bitch, actually.
Hey, you can't talk about her like that.
Well, I don't know her name yet, so how about we start there, Nolan? I want her full name, right now. I'm going to figure it out eventually, so there's no point in you hiding it from me. Spit it out.
Hey, what's going on with you today? Why are you being so assertive? You've never stood up to me like this about anything before.
Oh, I am so terribly, terribly sorry to offend you, Nolan. You'll have to forgive me for being a teensy-weensy bit angry to find out you've been cheating on me. It brought out a side of me that I thought I'd left behind.
Huh?
Let's just say when I was in school, I went through a bit of a rough phase. I was young and foolish, you know how that goes.
Rough? What do you mean rough?
There was a group of girls in my hometown that would go around and get into mischief.
And you were in that gang?
Actually, I was the leader. But I put all that behind me once I graduated high school. Or at least I thought I did.
How come you never told me about any of that before?
Did you expect me to just spit out all of my most embarrassing history to you when we got married? And besides, all the other girls in my gang have moved on too. They're living normal lives. One of them went to college and became a doctor. Another's married with 3 kids, and another is a cop now, actually.
Wait, a gang? It was an actual gang? I had no idea you were some kind of common criminal. If I knew this is what you were really like, I never would have married you.
I'm gonna have to turn that line right back at you, Nolan. If I knew you were the kind of guy who would sleep with your mistress in the same bed that I sleep in, I never would have even dated you, much less married you. My troubled past is just that, in the past. But you are currently, right now, a dirty, rotten cheater.
It was a mistake, okay? I was just fooling around, that's all. She never meant anything to me. I'm still serious about you.
That makes it even worse. Don't you see how that makes it worse? Don't worry, though. We'll have plenty of time to discuss all the details of how serious you are about me and her.
Give me a break, Helen. Let's have this conversation later, okay? Do you think you could back off for now?
Huh? Huh? You want me to back off?
I've got one panicked woman on my hands already, Helen. I don't need a panicked one here and a furious one out there. Let me get her home safely, and then we can talk.
Not a chance. I'm talking to the both of you about everything right now. Now get dressed and open up the door.
You know I can't do that. I can tell how mad you are even through your texts. I have no idea what you're gonna do to us.
The longer you make me wait, the worse it gets for the two of you. I have a very short temper, and I'm already reaching the limits of my patience.
Helen, seriously, knock it off. Stop shouting like that. Don't you see all the neighbors are coming out of their houses to see what's going on?
If you want me to stop, then get over here and open the door. Give it up, Nolan. You're not getting away from me. I have every intention to keep this up for as long as it takes for you to do as I say.
This is insane! You've gone insane! Please, Helen, stop with the shouting. Aren't you embarrassed?
After how much I've already been humiliated by you, going a little crazy in public is nothing to me. I will get you to open this door one way or another. And since you won't answer your phone, the only choice I have is to give you a piece of my mind from right here on the front porch.
But think about the impact this is gonna have on poor Amy. Are you really gonna hash out all our problems like this in front of our daughter?
I'm not a sociopath like you, Nolan. I've already taken care of Amy. I took her over to one of the neighbors' houses to have them look after her. I gave her some headphones and a tablet, so I bet right now she is fully engrossed in whatever video is going viral on YouTube right now. So you're not going to use her as an excuse either. Open up the door, Nolan.
But all the neighbors are watching. If I come out right now, then everyone's gonna see me. You might be fine with humiliating yourself in public, but I have an image to preserve.
Nah, I wouldn't worry about your reputation anymore either. I already talked to the neighbors. They heard me shouting and came up to me to ask if I was okay. So I took the liberty of explaining the situation to them. My adulterous husband is currently holed up in our house with his mistress and refusing to come out. This is the most interesting thing that's happened in this neighborhood in years.
This is our business. You don't need to go and get the entire block involved. You're not just embarrassing yourself, you're embarrassing me too.
Oh, I'm the one who's embarrassing you? You brought your mistress into our house in broad daylight and were having so much fun together that we could hear it from outside. I'll bet the neighbors noticed what you were doing well before I did.
Those stinking vultures gathering around our house like it's a dying animal or something.
They're all waiting for you and your mistress to come outside just like I am.
Why is this happening to us? This isn't fair. We don't deserve this kind of humiliation.
No, Nolan, I'd definitely say you do.
Don't pretend like we're the bad guys here.
But you are the bad guys. What? You're the ones having an affair.
Yeah, that may be true, but we're not the only ones at fault.
What are you talking about? How is your affair anyone's fault but your own?
Did you ever stop to think about why I started cheating on you? You've practically forgotten the fact that you're a woman. You've completely let yourself go. You never put on makeup. You never dress up for me. Nothing. Our love life is about as lively as the Sahara Desert. You can't blame me for being interested in other women when you haven't done anything to keep me interested in you. Get it? This is your fault, too.
Nolan, how badly do you want me to beat you right now?
I wish I'd never married you. There are billions of women on this planet, and I had to pick you. I knew I should have held out for longer before marrying you.
You were the one who proposed to me, remember?
Oh yeah, I remember. That was the worst mistake of my life. And it didn't take me very long after we got married to realize that. It's just that once you got pregnant, I figured I was past the point of no return.
Huh? So that's how you felt about me? That's interesting. So to you, Amy and I were only getting in your way, huh?
Seriously, what are you getting so upset about? So I cheated on you a little bit, so what? That's not such a big deal. I'm a man. I have needs. You should respect that.
Uh-huh, I see. Well then, I see now that I'm going to have to resort to more drastic measures. I hope you're prepared for what comes next. Great news, Nolan. I went to Marcia's house down the street. You remember her, right? She's the one who always organizes the local festivals. And she still has the PA system in her garage from the festival last month.
The PA system? What are you going to use that for?
I went ahead and made a recording of you earlier. I mean, there might come a time when I have to prove your affair in court, right? I need to have evidence.
A recording? Of what?
I think you know. I'm talking about the strange voices that Amy heard earlier. It's almost comical to imagine you two having all your fun, blissfully unaware that I was hearing and recording every single word. And all the other noises you were making, a lot of them couldn't really be called words.
Oh no. No! You were recording us!
That's right. I told you, Nolan, if you're still not going to come out, I'm going to have to resort to more drastic measures. Come out of the house right now, or I'm blasting this recording through the entire neighborhood.
No! Please do not do that! I'm begging you! If you do that, I'll never be able to show my face around here ever again!
Yep, and once word gets out about you, you'll have a pretty hard time ever having another affair again, too. Which makes it an obvious choice for me.
No, you can't do that! You're taking this too far. What's gotten into you?
Nothing's gotten into me, Nolan. You've just brought out something in me that I thought was long gone. You know the old expression, an eye for an eye? Well, back in my day, I lived by a slightly different motto. 2 eyes, an arm, and a leg for an eye. I haven't even begun to get payback on you, Nolan.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was wrong to cheat on you. I'm the worst husband in the world, so please don't play that recording.
I don't know. You did basically call me ugly a little bit ago.
I'm sorry for that, too. I didn't mean it. I was just angry.
Be that as it may, I am still pretty angry. Yeah, that's just not good enough. I can't let this go. If I don't get some kind of revenge on you, I think I'm gonna go insane.
I'm very, very, very sorry for everything I've done and said to you. I don't know what I was thinking saying such terrible things to you. I was wrong, really wrong. I didn't mean a single word.
Nah, I don't believe that for a second. That's what you've really thought about me all along, isn't it? Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the recording anyway. If nothing else, it's gonna feel really, really satisfying to watch you squirm.
I'm already squirming plenty right now. You've thoroughly humiliated me. You win. So please don't make it any worse than you already have.
You know, you might be right. Seeing as though I've already sent the recording to all your friends, family members, and coworkers, I guess I've already humiliated you enough as it is. Okay, fine. I won't play the recording.
Wait. You sent it to everyone?
Yep, even to your mom, dad, and sister. And they all messaged me back already, so I know they've all heard it. Oh, and I'll be sending it to my lawyer, too. We'll probably end up playing it during the divorce proceedings.
How could you do this to me? You sent it to my family. That's even more embarrassing than playing it on a loudspeaker.
Really? Why do you say that?
It's one thing if the neighbors hear it because I can just move and get away from that shame. But my family, I'm stuck with them forever.
Huh. You really think it's that different? How about we test that theory? I'll play it for the neighbors now, and then you can tell me which one felt more embarrassing for you.
No, we don't need to test that theory. I'm sure they're both equally embarrassing. So please don't play the recording. You've hurt my girlfriend enough for one day.
Oh, how did I hurt her?
Do you need to ask? You came home unannounced, recorded us talking to each other, and now you're threatening to play it for everyone to hear.
That's all your fault, though. I warned you, didn't I? But you didn't listen.
I was wrong. I should have listened. I was a jerk, a creep, a loser, a lying, low-down, dirty, rotten cheater. So please, just leave us alone. I'm begging you.
Do you understand who you messed with now? Have you learned your lesson?
Yes, I'm now thoroughly terrified of you. I'll never do anything to make you angry again.
How pathetic. You talked a big game when you were getting it on with your girlfriend, but now you're the one bowing down and kissing my feet. Now come on out and purr for me, my little kitty cat. I'm gonna tease you a little more. You like that, don't you? It took a while after that for my husband and his mistress to finally come out of the house. I guess that the one thing he wanted to avoid at all costs was me playing that recording on the loudspeaker. Once he came out, I grabbed him by the collar of his shirt, dragged him out to the front lawn, and made him apologize for disturbing the neighbors. His mistress came out at the same time and did some apologizing of her own. The neighbors were absolutely loving every single minute of it. They were all trying so hard not to burst out laughing. The sheer shame and humiliation of being exposed like that turned my husband red as a tomato. Meanwhile, his mistress just collapsed and started crying her eyes out and screaming, "Why? Why?" So I told her, "Because you slept with a married man, you degenerate slut!" I divorced my husband as soon as possible after that, and then took my daughter with me and went over to my parents' house. My lawyer was easily able to secure a very sizable judgment in my favor during the divorce proceedings. As much as my husband would like to move out of that neighborhood, he's rather drained after all the legal hell I put him through. So he's going to have to deal with snickers and eye rolls from the neighbors for the foreseeable future.